So I can see, you all can see my screen. So now today I just wanted to discuss about Maven, what Maven is, why do we use Maven, so what are the advantages of using Maven over this Java projects and all. So you might have already seen in Java project when we create. So the first thing that I can say about Maven is a build management tool. And when you say build management tool, so whatever the other stuffs, like for example, just to make things simple, what I would say is I won't go too deep in the theory, the descriptive way. So I'll just show you practically why we need this Maven. If you see in Java project, what you have done, you have downloaded some jar files, whatever we need, and some drivers as well, right? So other extra prerequisite or the other things that we need for our code to run, to execute, so other dependencies kind of thing. I mean, this is Selenium. When I said about the Excel, if we just want to interact with the Excel, write some Excel related code, so there is some other jar which I said, right? So it is Apache POI. So we have that Apache POI jar for Excel. So here we get this uh, jar file from this page. So same way for Excel, if we are doing, we would be using this Apache POI. Similarly, some logs, like if we want to generate, we use log4j jar file. And uh, apart from those stuffs, again, in a real time in projects, so it's not like one or two or five six jars we might need. So there would be n number of dependencies, the jars, I would say. So in Maven terms, let's say dependencies. So dependencies are nothing but the things that we wanted in our project uh, to execute, so to do some stuff. So similar to this Selenium, as we might need Apache PUI. So all that things, if we use Java, we need to download all that jars and store in one location, and then explicitly we have to import it, right, in our build path. Right click, configure build path, configure build path, and then we add these jars, so, and drivers as well. So all these things. Now let's say you in a general real-time scenarios, you just won't be the one person who is working on this automation project, right? So there would be a team, and those whole team like kind of on an average for one particular project, depending on how the application is, so the team members would be assigned. And now uh, so 3 to 4 members on an average as testers might have, and apart from that 3 to 4, or the testing team can be on an average 10 members as well. And then let's say 4 members are there as an automation testers, and these 4 members, now you are one among them, and you have, let's say, started or someone else has started one this automation project. They have a framework, and then they have these jar files and basic code, initial one or two test case, let's take. So one test case is what first person has developed, and now they have used these jars. Now let's say going forward, how about the other persons, the rest 3 members should use uh, this project. So for them, how would you generally share this? So we generally share our projects through a common repository wherein we call Git. So Git is some kind of server, if I just have to say, some a local a place wherein we would be storing our project onto one common place, and then from there all these persons whoever are doing automation, they can take the code from there. So let's say one particular location is there, so onto that location, onto that repository, we add our code. So the other person, when he's doing, or is the other methods is like you can use pen drive and then import this code into that, add that code in the pen drive, and then other person again plug in and get the code. So this method again and again is kind of like you won't be able to collaborate. Basically, if you have added one test case now, and later after 10 days you might have added 10 test cases, and that 10 test cases another person have added another 10 test cases. So again, you so the same it's one project, right? And one project in the sense, so different person writing different test cases in their own thing and then doing it, it won't be there. So basically we have to merge, or we have to just collect all that test cases at one particular place and then make it as whole one complete project and do it, work on it, right? So for that purpose we use generally Git, and then in that project the local repository as well, or the general server, where a repository, which what repository is basically stores our code, our project related stuff there. So in that project we have used, let's say, Selenium, this 4.5 version. And then next thing, after that Selenium, again as I said, we might also use other jars. So we already download that, install that, and keep that. So uh, going forward, sometimes we might have some different versions. So now it is 4.5, earlier it was 3, earlier 2 point something, 3 point something, now it is 4 point something. So going forward it can be 5 point something, who knows. So then in the change of version, when it is there, again, you what you have to do for the latest changes, you have to come here, delete all this jar files, you don't need it, you need to download the uh, latest jar, and then add it in your project and import that in the thing. So again and again, when there is something or the other change, you have to manually do all this stuff, right? So if you have done same way, the other persons also have to do. So the task, if you see, the work is tedious here, kind of repetitive, same thing doing this. So in real world we generally don't use this approach. So for this we have an alternate, which is Maven. So what Maven would do is, generally Maven is a build management tool, as I said, and then Maven would have a pom.xml file, wherein in that XML file we will just write some code. So we just have some dependencies. So that in that pom file we'll mention, okay, we need Selenium, we need log4j, we need Apache jar file of version so and so. So all those things we will just mention at one particular location, and then this file, since we upload it in the repository as well, the next person or whoever it is, so when they download, when they take our code, uh, and then in their system they don't have to again do download all these jar files manually. That pom file itself, the Maven, which is Maven would automatically download that jar files, all the required things, whatever we have mentioned in pom.xml. So that would be mentioned over there. So Maven would take care of those things. So how to know, let's start with Maven, and then I'll tell you more advantages of using Maven over Java project. So just to check Maven, if Maven is installed or not in one system, so just go to command prompt, and here you just type, just like Java, you check version, right? So if Java is installed or not. So Java hyphen version. So if you see Java version, Java is installed. And then similar way, Maven, for Maven, we can say mvn hyphen version. So when you say Maven, for Maven, we use mvn command hyphen version. If you see, if Maven is installed, we get this type of message saying something is like, okay. Else, when Maven is not installed, we get mvn is not recognized, this thing. So that way, in my system it's already installed. So like if someone is using their laptops or the personal PCs, and then they want, if I can get the access, I'll just show how the window might look like when you don't have Maven. and then how to install, and then installation of Maven in their uh, system. So if someone is interested, if they can share the screen. Else if no one has, then yeah, I'll just proceed with these things. So here what we'll do is we'll go to, so how to download or install Maven. So go to this Google and say Maven download. Just click here, and then you would get this link. Go to first link, maven.apache.org. In here, when you scroll down, you would have some files here. If you can see, there is binary and there is source. So we need binary files and then zip files. So here, uh, so here we have 3.8.6. Some links is there. So in this link, I'll just, we can click on this Maven 3.8.6 bin.zip. Once you click on it, so the zip file gets downloaded. So once this zip file is downloaded, go to your downloads location, and here you have this thing. So what you do, just right click on this zip file and then extract that. So extract, so let's say I want, so extract here. So you would get one folder, and in this you have this thing. So Apache Maven and then bin. So we need only this code. So once that zip file is extracted, we get this folders with a bin location. And then this particular location, what you have to do is uh, better to cut this and have this, save this location in your program files. Go to C, and then program files you have. In program files, here you just paste that here. So as soon as you paste it here, and then you would have this in C location. It's better to put that things in C location. Later you would see, so sometimes something might not work properly, so it's recommended to have that Maven related Maven folder in C location, your program file. So once we have it here, then what you have to do, again, just like Java, you had set environment variables, right? So same way, same way, what you have to do is set the environment variable for Maven as well. So go to your environment variable, and in here, just like Java home, and there is path. So if you open path here, can you see? Yeah, here there is Maven bin location. So you can also create this thing. What is Maven underscore home? And in here, you can specify this Maven location. So this location here, say okay. So you create, just like Java, you have created Maven home, and then in path variable here, add a new line, and then here you just give the location towards your bin folder. So we want this bin location. So copy this, and then here paste it, and okay, say okay, or else you have created variable, and that variable, that's fine. So just like Java we did, we can use for Maven as well. Percentile Maven bin. So this thing I've already did it here, so I won't be using it. So once you do this, say click on OK, OK, and OK, and then close this CMD. Again, you open CMD, and when you come here and check MVN hyphen version, when you check this, then you would get whatever version you have downloaded and installed, that would be shown here. So I hope this installation is clear. Can someone confirm? Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. So once the Maven is installed, so other thing is Eclipse as well. In Eclipse itself, you would you can download again Maven. So when you do it Eclipse specific, so this would be just specific to your Eclipse. So outside Eclipse, you won't be able to use the Maven. But here, since we did it for our system, so throughout our system to command line as well, we can be able to access it. So in Eclipse, how we do? So just go here, top menu, click on help, and then you have Eclipse market. Go to this Eclipse marketplace. So in here, you just installed Maven. So type Maven here and press enter. Once you click this, so here you would get Eclipse M2E. So Maven support in Eclipse ID. So here you would get just install button, click on it, and then it would be, since if it is installed, it would show installed here. So you can click that and it takes time to install, and whatever comes, so just say next, next, or okay. And then it takes time to install those plugins because it's just a plugin again. So once it is there, Maven would be also done in Eclipse. So same way for apart from Maven, here you can do testng as well. So if you search testng, the next one that I want to say. So in the basically in the next week, I might tell you about this testng, the unit test framework. So it's better like if you guys are practicing, then you can install testng as well. So search here, then click on install button, and it takes time, probably like 5 minutes, close to 5 minutes or something. So one pop-up might come, you can say okay or something, and then proceed with the further things. So this way, any extra plugins or whatever you need, you can download it in for Eclipse here in the Eclipse marketplace. So you would have many things here. So that way. So we for now we have done Maven, right? So Maven is successfully installed, and we are now able to use some Maven command. So what we would do is uh, first let's just create Maven project. So how to create a Maven project? Go to your project here, come here, right click, go to new, and then select project. In this project here, if you search Maven, you would get a folder called Maven, and then check out you get different options. So we will just select Maven project and then just say next. So once you click on this next, you would get the next window. Yeah, here. So in this location, what you can do is one simplest way that I would use is check this checkbox, create a simple project. So simple Maven project is what we want to create, and so select it and then say next. Click on next, and then you would have a different next window wherein it would ask what is group ID, what is artifact ID. So all these things, if I just have to keep things in short, uh, what I would do is here group ID is nothing but the uh, project, the package names. So if you see your package names for your previous thing, so here you had given this package names, right? So generally group ID is nothing but the package name that you want to give it. So uh, just select this, go to project, here under Maven folder you would have Maven project, say next, and then click on this, say next. Here group ID, so here group ID is what you, as I said, you can give anything, the project name, the package name, and uh, package name for now what I would do is and in general and again in projects when you actually work on, so we don't give package names at this way. So the recommended way is to give some proper follow some proper standards. So for package creation, what we do is we say com dot, and then we add the project name or the company name. So company name, whichever company, like if you're working in Deloitte, you say com dot Deloitte dot, so any other company, so you can add that. So com dot company name dot, then the project name as well you can write. So project name, or project name, if not, that is fine, this is fine. Dot, and any specific a module that you are working on, or uh, something else. So module, specific module, I'll say module 1 for now. So this is just the way is what you can give your package names. So this is the standard that they follow. So you can say com dot, then give something, start with com dot, and then the company name or the project name dot, your package name. So here we can say Orange HRM, Orange HRM1, so different browsers, something like this. And then what artifact ID is? Artifact ID is nothing but it's a project name. Now, so project name would be what? So for project name, what we'll give is, so start again with the camel case, starting with lower for Maven. When for Java, if you see, we have given capital, right? But for Maven, start with camel case. So here we say Maven Selenium practice is what I just want to give the project name. So I can give this project name here, and then version, this thing we can select anything. So this is some version, it's okay for you. Only thing is group ID and artifact ID. So once you give this group ID and artifact ID, and then just say finish, click on finish. So with that, when you see, so a project would be created under this. So, and for a Maven project, you see, you for Java project you get J, say icon right here. If you can see, have a closed look, so you would get J, but for a Maven you get M here, which means that project now can be identified as a by looking into this particular thing, we can say it's a Maven project. And when some Maven project is created, if you just expand that Maven project, so you would have what, different source src source folders, these things, right? And some JRE system. So it is using outdated thing. Again, we can change it if required. And then you would have some target, source, target, and a pom.xml. So as I said, what this pom.xml is, nothing but for now, just think in a way, pom.xml is the heart of Maven. So anything you want to do with Maven, first you need to deal with pom.xml. So what you have to do here, so in this project, so once you open this pom.xml, here you would have different tabs: overview, pom.xml, dependencies, dependency hierarchy. So generally you might you can see something this way here. So overview of that pom.xml. So what the group ID we had given, what the artifact ID was, what the version we used, and this packaging. So these are like, you don't need to understand this completely, but I'm just showing you. So here we have some dependencies, and then this. So here what you do is go to this pom.xml tab. So once you do that, so XML structure of our project would be done. So in this project, so whatever you want to do, so let's say we want some dependencies, we want to take something else. So those things we have to do it under our project, right? So here, so this tag, starting from this tag till this end, so back forward slash of this is nothing but the end of this tag. So which means outside this, if you are doing now, it is outside the project, which we don't want to do anything outside of the project. So inside project only we can add anything. So after version, you just hit some enter buttons, and then here, so inside this you can write the XML thing. So I'll show you what we have to do basically. So here we need to write what all we have got till now. So model version, so we have group ID, whatever we have created, and artifact ID. So what the project name we have given. So while creation we gave this, and version. So this version, so this is our own project and we are starting. We can give any version. So it's not only this, we can give 1.00 or 1.0, any version. So for now, we'll just stick with the default thing, whatever we get. So here, after this, so, okay, first thing what I'll do is, so we have our Selenium framework, right? Selenium project. So go to select one of the Selenium related code. So this what we have written, one test case, right? So we have this test case, and now let's say I just want to uh, copy this whole things, copy, and then so we have here what if you see Java project, we have got one source folder, and I can say, as I said, we can create multiple source folders even in our Java project, but here one was enough. So same way, Maven, what it is doing is it is again creating multiple projects. So what Maven is doing for like for the source folder is it is creating some like kind of arranging things in a different way. So here it has created 4 source folders, and this source folders, that too what artifact we had selected. If you see, right click project here in this Maven project. So if you just don't select this simple project, skip archetype selection. So since we selected this checkbox, it has given us 4 common source folders. The same way, other thing. So if you don't want this basic or simple project thing, then just don't select this checkbox, go to next, and then here you would have different categories. So if we just say it, yeah, here you would have this all different categories. So if you see if you want to use this thing, so you can use any of this, and just say next, and then again same thing, uh, group id, artifact id you have to give, and then finish it. So based on what you have selected, that particular project might have different folders again. Instead of 4, they can have 8, 5, 6, or 2, or even 1. So this kind of just source folders is what we get in mostly. There's nothing much about the other things. And also once we get this, let's say a few source folders, if we just want explicitly to add, you can again add that source folders here with some same thing here, or else something is not required also. So what you can do is just right click on that, and then delete. So even you can delete this folder. So this is the basic template that we get, and for now let's consider that we are good with whatever the basic template we have got. Okay, and so like let me try to execute something first here. So in our source main Java, so we have this test Java, main Java, we have main resources, test resources. So what resources is in general thing? So resources is nothing but the files or the this extra stuff like the file. It can be files, or it can be Excel files, the log files, or XML file, whatever it is. So all that are other than our code is what we can, if we are using in our project, that are nothing but resources. And what is main and test? So just you can differentiate saying, okay, test is what test case related uh, test case related, any files are there, if any resources are there, we can put those stuff under this folder. So like anything you want to add it, you can do under this resources folder. The same way, main is what the project related stuff. Again, test cases related, application related, we can do it here. Main, general project related, anything we can put in this resources file. And Java and main and test Java. So Java code, when you write it basically, so that Java code you can keep it in these 2 things. So main and test. So test cases we generally write in. So this I'm saying based on what we used to do in our automation project, what I have done since last 7 years. I'm still doing it. So those automation project, whatever we do, so we kind of follow some standards, right? So this is how we do it. So any test cases that we write in, we any packages, test cases or classes we write, test cases related, we write in test folder. So src test this thing. So here you can create package, and under that package test cases. So test cases 1, 2, 3, whatever we were doing, so test cases related we can keep it here. And main Java, any general stuff, general code, like which is project independent. So now we are automating hrm, orange hrm, let's say. So some other application later if we automate, like a demo web shop or some other application, so those application as well, if we are automating that, so any code which is not project specific, or if I have to say more detail, like opening of a browser or closing of a browser, and some common methods like how to find element, driver dot find element, some XPaths and all, and then uh, how to read Excel file, how to log something. So this, all these things, you know, we would require this stuff in other projects as well, not only this orange hrm, but other applications, other projects as well, right? So those particular common code, common things is what we generally keep it in main Java folder. So I hope this is clear. If they have someone has any doubts till this point, they can ask. If everything is clear, then I'll just move on with the next things. So here, what I will do is, so if you expand this thing, you won't get anything here because these are empty for now. And so here you just right click. So in main, I'm just doing for now. So not to do a class. So in source folder, I would create a package. Again, whatever packages I said. So so package name here we can give. So what package name? As I said, we need to give com dot. Can you mute yourself? Who is this? Murli? Can you mute yourself, please? Yeah, thank you. So here, package name we want to give. So com dot, I'll say what, Selenium practice, something, company name dot, and then package name, right? So this general package, so I'll say general, something like this, and click on finish. So once a package is created, right click on that package, create class. So class, just on the test, I will say Maven first, something first class, let's say, and let's take this main method. And in here now we have this thing. So here now normal Java code you can write, just because we have Java library here, JRA library, which is this one. And now we can write Java related code. So system.out.println is Java stuff, right? And this is coming from this library. That's why the Java code normally in this thing we can write. And here I want to print this thing, something like that, and right click, just same like Java, we can do it here. Right click and then run. So which means Maven project is created, some source folder we have, and then class we have, and we have got this thing here. Now what other thing that I wanted to tell, So Java code is working fine. Java thing is fine, right? Then let's take Selenium stuff. So what I would do is, so as I said, we would write our test cases in test Java folder, right? So here, what we will do is right click, create some package. Again, com dot, I'll say orange HRM, this way, finish. So I've created one package, and then this test case is what I want inside this, right? So I'll just copy this and control C or copy, and then come here, control V or paste. So just same class I want. So I'm just adding that class here. And as soon as I add this class, you see, we have got some errors. What are those some errors? So this web element and this by, all these things is not being identified. Why? This is not a Java project, right? Java stuff, Java syntax, Java code, right? This is completely regarding Selenium. And in your project, you don't have Selenium library, Selenium referencing. Here in Java, if you see, you have got some reference libraries which consist of the Selenium code, right? That's why it was identifying. There is no issue here. But same way here, we don't have. So just to overcome this thing, what we would have done, again in this way as well, we can do right click, configure build path, just like to Java project what we have done, we can do that way. But we just don't want to do it those things manually, right? So as I said, pom.xml is what would help us. So here uh, we, so how to get this Selenium? So we want Selenium related jar file, right? So how can we get is, just go to your browser. So here, just search for, we have something called, or okay, so we were looking into Selenium thing, right? So Selenium .dev, we have this website. So just click here. uh, so in the download section, Selenium downloads, you have Selenium, this one we downloaded the jar file, right? Now same way, here you would have Maven information, something called Maven information, if you are using Maven or Gradle. So an alternate to Maven is what? Gradle. Again, it's a same thing, just like Maven, but different companies, so different ways of doing things. So if you are using Maven, you can have this Maven repository when the most of the recent uh, versions of Selenium is not yet. So we get Maven repository, or else the thing that I wanted to show you here is, yeah, that's okay. So here, just go to this and say Maven repository. Just type this on your Google and just hit enter, and then you would get one link, which is mvnrepository.com. So go to this link, click on here, and then you would have a search box here. So all the Maven related, all the dependencies, all the jars, you can find it in this website. So Maven generally stores all this uh, repository, all this jar files. So whatever we are creating, so here for example, let's say I want Selenium, so just type Selenium here and click on it. Checking the site, or else okay. uh, Here, go to Maven download or Maven repository we want. Go to Maven repository, click here, we get this screen, and here you search for Selenium and enter. Now here you would have, or dot the Selenium Java, Selenium server. You want Selenium server, use this. You want Selenium Java, you can use this. Selenium API, you can use this. Selenium support, So so if we would have not used Selenium server, then manually what we have to do was download this, use this Selenium Java, and then Selenium API, Selenium support for select class we were creating, right? So that might be coming from here. So for that thing, again, we would have installed or downloaded this jar and used it. But just an alternate to hold all these things, we had a Selenium server. So Selenium server would again consist of all these packages just at one place. So Selenium server, if you want, just click it here, and then here you would have different versions. So on this next page, you would get what all from when the whatever jar files are stored. So from 2.0, so that 2.0 version, 2.1, all these versions you have, any versions you want, just click on that and then you would get this. So we have 2. This thing, and then 3. So this 3 dot you want, and then 4 alpha. So for now we are using 4 point related something, right? So let's use this alpha version, but generally we should use a stable one. And so some code, some syntaxes that we have used, right? So something that we have used, some code might not be uh, applicable in the previous version, so that's why they might have done. So in that case, what we have to do is better to take some version, and then according to that version related whatever the documentation is, we need to write those syntaxes. So here I can select this thing, click some version, and then here we get one ability. So better not to use this file, but for now, yeah, just for practice. So okay, I'll just tell you the previous version. So let's say 3.141 dot this thing. So this version is what I'll click on, this version, and then okay, this one. This one. Let's say let's take any version, and then here under Maven Gradle we have all these tabs here. So you have some XML file called dependencies, and then this thing is there. Okay, so what you do is first in your form.xml, so we have got this project thing, right? So under this project you can add some tags. Now one tag that you want to add, so if you see, if you just type this angular bracket, then you would get what all things you can do inside this form.xml. So here version, any specific thing, properties you want to define or something. So only thing that now we are consider is dependencies. So we would take this dependency stack, and then dependencies start of this and then end of this. If you're not getting suggestions, you can even type this, and then basically for that you need to write, make sure your pom.xml file consists of this thing. So if you have this, then suggestions might get, but for sometimes based on some system we might not get it. So manually you can type this dependencies and then close of dependencies. So inside this, again inside this, so dependencies is what, uh, plural, right? More than one. So any dependencies that we want, we can write add those dependencies under this tag only inside this. So we have this Selenium dependency, right? From here, from Maven repository we got this dependency. So copy this dependency. How to copy? Just click on this, and then it would be copied, or just right click, control C, or do anything. So just copy this stuff and then come back to your Eclipse. Here under dependencies tag only you need to add that code, so that XML file. And here if you see, once I add that, so you would get this. And you just had JRE earlier, right? And now you don't have anything else. So as soon as I add this thing, and as soon as I save, so you would see this star would go. So as soon as I save it, so something would be happening in the background. wherein building, it is building something. So till it completes 100%, and then so it is downloading this jar files now, downloading the Selenium server in our local repository. So as soon as I have saved it, here you would get Maven dependencies thing, and if you expand this, you would have what, Selenium server, this thing. So all these server files, all this thing, you see, we have got all these files here. And where are these files being saved? If you see, again, this would download, Maven would download. We are not manually doing it, so Maven would download all these jar files and then keep that jar files in some location in our location here. So what is that location? If you see, C users dot m2, dot m2 is the folder that it creates. Maven would create dot m2 folder. Under that repositories, it would keep all this stuffs here. So if we can navigate it, C users, user, right? So I'll go to that location, C users, user, and then dot m2. So you can see that folder here, and then you would have this repository, and then in this repository there are this all these packages. So if you see if you see this Java, JUnit, log, when was it downloaded, all these things you can see here. So we have all the Maven related stuff, all the Maven jar files are stored in this location. And then so the Selenium server, if you want to see where it is, in Selenium org, Selenium HQ, Selenium. So if you see org, org, so org, Selenium HQ, Selenium, and then what was this first? Selenium server. So Selenium server, if you see Selenium server, and then you would have different versions here. So I have just now downloaded, right? So this was not there. So if you see time 9:20, so just today only we have got this version. So earlier I had some other version, 3.6, 3.1, like likewise on 2021. So this thing, now this is how the jars are downloaded. And now, so with this one thing, it has downloaded multiple jars. So if we don't have this dependency, then what we had to do was manually search where this server, Selenium server is, there we have to download, and this Chrome driver, all these jar files one by one. So doing this stuff one by one, and that too you are doing, and then if there are other team members, even they have to do it. So these things manually, it is time taking, and things, if we have so many jars, we might miss few of them. So that's why uh, instead of you using normal Java project, we follow this Selenium thing. And now this project, what it would do is, now later when you share this project with someone else, so someone else would have that project, and then what they would do here, when as soon as they load this project, Maven would automatically download jars from the server from this particular location into the user's local directory in this same way here, like again in this .m2 folder it might create there, and then all the jars would be stored in there. So now let's say going forward, you, so I have saved it, and you see our class that we had created. Now here if you go, so you see you are getting error to driver this thing, right? And then now, or all these packages, this package is available inside this libraries somewhere in this code, that org.openqa selenium by all these things is available. That's why now this project is not throwing us error on this particular stuff, but it is still giving one error. What is that one error? If we see, so here if you see the implicit wait that we gave, so which means we can, the method implicit wait is the type, timeout is not applicable for the duration. So earlier version, so whichever version we have taken, 3 point something, right? So in that version, for implicit wait, this is not the syntax. What the syntax was, I have to show you, it is driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicitly wait, and then implicit wait would accept two parameters. One is time and then time unit dot this thing. So if you take this, then here time. So we need 30 seconds, right? So 30, and then the next parameter is what? Time unit dot, when you say, so you have date, hours, this thing. So I want seconds. So this is coming from this package. So this seconds, and that's it. So this is earlier version, and this code doesn't work in 3 dot. So this is latest 4 dot, right? So that I'm not using here now, and I have saved it. As soon as I've saved, so this line I'm not using it. I'm using other. So this is there in your previous version, 3 dot versions, whatever you were seeing here, right? So till that 3 dot versions is what one change that I have noticed. There might be many, but one thing that I've noticed is this implicitly wait. So here in this implicitly wait, what we can do, if we wanted to use this length, let's say, and we don't want the older version, we want the latest version only, right? So then in our pom.xml, what we can do, so instead of using this version, okay, this 4 again, 4 alpha version doesn't have that code. So we did 4.5, right? So still we can see that 4.5 version is not available. So once it is available, I guess we can use it. Until then, yeah, seems like we won't be able to use it. So that's why I'll use 3 point this versions only. So whatever version is there, yes. So I can take 3 point this version. 4 alpha is also fine, but yeah, let's skip this. So again, this Maven repository is not there for our 4.5 version of jar. That's why we'll use only this thing. Okay. So this is how implicit wait is there for. So here, now we have got this. Now what are the other advantage that I wanted to show? So if you want, let's say don't want this version, and next time whenever it is available, 4.5 is available, whatever exact version is there, come check here, and then that version you can just come here and add 4.5 if it is available later. 4.5.0 something like this might be available. It is not there for now, but we can just add it. So save it. As soon as you save, so we are getting error because there is no such version available. So if you have a different version, now let's say I want previous versions of what, 3.4. So 3.4.0 is what we see it here, right? So 3.4.0, just come here, write 3.4.0, and then save. As soon as you click on save, so it would build, and that building would take time, and then later in our Selenium folder, 3.4.0, it is downloaded just now. You see, it is still doing it, building it, and then once it is done, automatically that jar file is downloaded. And once we have this, initially for the first time it takes time to build, because it is trying to download all the dependencies, all the required jars which are dependent on this. Let me have some water. Yeah, so this completes 100%, and then it would do it. So this way, those jar files, it would come immediately. So here again it is still building it because this version is taking time. So first time, as I said, and now we can again switch back to any of the different versions. Let's say we want uh, some other version. 4.5 is not there. So 3.141.59 is what I want to switch. Let's say 141.59 and then save it. So I'll save it here and then still doing it. Yeah, meanwhile, till this gets complete, anyone has any doubts, they want to ask anything, if something is not clear, please let me know. I'll just try to clarify it again. So I hope you guys are also able to see the advantageous usage of this Maven. Can someone confirm if things are clear? Yeah, so this seems to be done, and then we have got Maven dependencies. So 3.4141.59 other jars, we have got it. And now if we go to our class, so let's execute this thing. So right click, run as Java. So you see we are executing now Maven class here. So we have executed same thing, same code, whatever we had written is working fine, right? So normal Java application we are running, but uh, so when you do from form file, so what we can do is we can also execute. So next thing is what the unit test framework I said, right? TestNG. So the framework and the previous thing that I executed. So we were using executing the test cases, the test classes, whatever are there from form.xml. So you can, what you can do is right click, run as, and then Maven, we have all these options. So Maven build, we have Maven clean. So Maven clean, when we do it, when you click it, so what it does is it tries to clear this target folder. So target folder, whatever is there, few things would be there upon whenever you execute. So some files would be generated. So if you see this target folder, it is empty now. And when you execute, so yeah, we got this. Could not find. Okay. So now it is unable to locate. Sometimes we get this error in Java. So what I'll do is, just because I've cleaned it and we got this error, but yeah, we'll try to look into. Other than this, what is that? So we have got different versions. Now same thing, I wanted other jar files, right? So, and for indentation, just say Control A, Control I, so it gives a proper format, automatically it would do. And then let's say I was saying about the other jar files, right? Here you go, and then if you need not Selenium and the other jar file, which is what, Apache PY, Apache PY, search for Apache PY, click on search, and then Apache PUI, PUI we get PUI OXML. So we want this both. So sometimes we want both. So come here, select, click this, and then you would have this version. So take the latest version, like if you want, if you're writing it, or sometimes some projects uses specific version, so we need to be sure which version we need it, and then come here, copy it. So Apache POI is there, right? Here under dependency, again paste it here, and then as soon as you save it, so that file, if it is not there, it would download those things. So it tries to download, and then in the Maven dependencies, you would find Apache POI related jar files as well. So if you can see here, yeah, POI jar file is there. At this location, it is there. So just like Apache POI, other jar files as well, any versions, whatever you want. So you would be able to do it. So I said log4j we had it. So log4j as well, you come here and then select one log4j, come here, use this versions. So you can click this. So log4j, you can do it this way. And the other jar files that I have come across is for reporting, we have something called extent reports. So extent reports is what we can do. So extent reports is another feature wherein we get nice HTML reports. So that jar file, when we need to come here and click this and use this in our dependencies. So under dependencies tab, the next dependency. So here I'll just paste it. Control A, Control I, save it. So as soon as I save, so some packages from this version. So if you see extent reports, so extent reports thing would be added somewhere here. So this is how you would generally can get the so here you see extent report. So this is how generally you can get any jars, any Maven repository. So in Maven repository, you just come search here and get that particular version jar file in your project. And now all these jar files we have done 3 4, right? Let's say there are hundreds, what we do, and then this jar file and this project, when we share, so I said, right, so we share it in common repository, which is Git. So under Git, we would have store this whole project, all the codes that are there, and then with that, it would, the pom.xml file would also go. And when the other user downloads this code, they would have pom.xml in that project, and upon saving, upon building, automatically this pom.xml would execute, and then whatever dependencies tag you have mentioned, it would try to download that jars in the other users which they don't have this jars, so it would download in their systems. So this is how we use a Maven here, and the usage of Maven, I would say. And so yeah, other things, version specific. So any versions we want, we can just directly come here, change that version, whichever is available, and then that's it. Save it. You don't have to manually, okay, this version is not there, and then this thing. So here Chrome driver. So one more thing, right? Okay. So for Chrome, this driver related as well. Chrome driver, I said we need to do what? We had to download the version that is there. the browser version, right? Here whatever we have 106, so based on 106 we were downloading that exe file. The same way other versions for other browsers we were checking, right? But through Maven there is another dependencies available for the same, which is Maven, no, not the Maven, WebDriver manager. So there is some WebDriver manager here. We have, you click this and then 13.0. Maven artifact. It's WebDriver manager. Good with this version. Let's take only one version I can see. Copy this and then come to your project under dependencies. You can add anywhere. It's not like any specific order you want. So anywhere you can just add it and then save it. So as soon as you save, that WebDriver manager related uh, jar file would also be added. So once it is added, what we can do is, don't have to see it again and again. So here, now you guys, instead of using setting the property and using it, the alternate to this is WebDriver manager dot, still downloading. Let it get 100% complete and then you would get this code. So instead of once we have this WebDriver manager dependency in our POM file, so we don't have to set this property, download this exe file in our project and then point it automatically. That WebDriver manager, this file would handle it. So we just have to write one line of code, WebDriver manager dot, some set of package would be there, a method, and then that method would handle this thing. So it downloads internally, it would do something so which we don't care about, but that would do our work. So we don't have to manually download this exe files and then in code you need not to point that exe files here. So yeah, that is it about this Maven. So yeah, anyone has any doubts in this Maven, they want to ask something? Are we good? So this Maven dependencies, you get right click here, so execute. Whenever you execute maven.pom file, so you would have let me update Maven project sometimes. So right click, run as, and then Maven clean is what it cleans this thing, and Maven build, build, install, test. Maven install and test is used to execute the Maven related thing. So for now you don't need to go deep here. For now, in our project whatever we do, so Maven dependencies we have got, and that dependencies we are using in our classes. So that is enough for now. And let me try to change this. So I don't want this older version. Let's say I want GRE system, which is alternate installed JREs. Instead of pointing, sometimes we get this errors, and then here JRE, it's better to give your JDK path here, complete JDK that we have downloaded. It is taking from server, Oh, so the second name, and then this, which I want to remove, apply and close. Yeah, my system is bit slow. I guess it's taking time to do this Maven stuff. Yeah, but this way you can get your Maven uh, project. So we have created Maven project, and then we have got uh, the jar files, required jar files in form.xml. So after this Maven, I also want to tell you about, so that is like not in this course, but yeah, uh, extra information that I would like to give. So I was saying about repository, right? So when you say about repository, so here we have Git, which I was referring, right? So Git basically, we have so Git basically is a repository, and through which, like, whatever locally we add it, whatever locally we create this projects, and once our system crashes or something happens to our system, and then once we come back again, we might not have that code whatever we have written, right? So in that case, what happens is, whatever we have done, whatever work we have done, time spent, everything goes waste if something happens to the system and we were not able to retrieve our code that we have done. So so in real world, just to avoid this particular scenario, we generally kind of, whatever we do in our system, we store that in some server, some location. So that location server is what, through Git we can have Git is basically a repository. Now GitHub is uh, uh, let's say a vendor or company, wherein GitHub would provide us that location where we want to store our code. So just like GitHub, we have Bitbucket, we have Azure DevOps, Azure repository. So we have different companies, different things they use. But overall, all those vendors or companies, clients, they use Git as a communication bar, let's say, between our local to the server. So Git file, GitHub. So here what you can do is, yeah, if you're new, just sign up, and then on this Git, so here it is asking to enter your email. So I already have a GitHub account, but yeah, you guys, if you just want this GitHub, enter your email, give your email, pradeep at gmail.com. So this is my email address, pradeeptawalji@gmail.com. So this email, I gave it here, and then click on continue. Email is invalid or already taken, which means this email audit, since I already have my GitHub account, that's why we cannot do this. But someone who doesn't have, they can register it here. So I'm not sure about this thing. So this registration part, yeah, if someone wants, I can show them. If they want, they're interested, I can, if they can share the screen, I can show to others as well. So or you can just register to this GitHub account. Once that GitHub account is registered, you can uh, sign in and then enter username, ID, email address and password, and then you would get a page. Now repositories, what we can create, so we would have options called create some repositories over there. And then that repository, when we created, so this project, what we will do is, we would add our projects that we have created to uh, so whatever projects we have created, so we would add that to the repository. How to add, that is another thing. So until then, so here you just right click on this, you would have option called team share project, and once you click that share project, so you would get some window wherein it is asking, you see, use or create repository in parent folder, and then repository location. So you can create one repository here, and then create and finish. So you would have some steps here, just the basic ones, and so some few things. Yeah, if someone is if interested, you can reach out to me, and I would tell you how we generally share this. Now if they actually share the system, if someone is front of the system and then want to really interested in how this Git is working fine, or how we generally save our project code to there, and how we use it, how the other people would share the projects, how the same code, same automation thing, how we would be updating it, how we would be git pull. We have options called git pull, git push, and so here I have one project, if I'll show you, so which is already there in Git, and let me open this. So this one framework that I have it, so I wanted I would basically tell you about this framework. This is basically not in this course, but out of that, out of this course as well, I will just give some information on how the Selenium framework is and how we use it. So this is already my project is there on the GitHub, and then right click, and here go to teams. So once we have all those settings done, so we get this window, which means we get commit, we get push, pull, remote branches. So we get something, some options. So here commit is what? Git commit is whatever we have written in our so this is completely again becomes kind of bit theory, and few things might not be understandable to you. So uh, I'm not sure why you guys are not interested in, like, if someone is there, share the screen, we can do some stuff which you guys might not know, and then I already have it here, and then I can just say, okay, we get this particular screen, but how do we get this? What's the setup? How we do? Like, if no one is interested in knowing that, that's fine. It's its own choice. So here we get this commit. So commit is what, again, then git commit would, whatever we write in our system locally, we would save it, and it at one particular place, and that one particular place, again from that particular place is whenever we do any changes, that changes would what we need to do a commit, have a commit message over there. So commit message would give what we have done is what, some message kind of thing. Okay, I've created a class called first class.java. So that commit message you can generally give normal string free text, and then git pull, we have git pull, git push. So git pull is what, we are so that code would be there on the repository, on the git repository, that location we would just specify in our project. And git pull, when we say, so we would have we would get the latest code from the repository to our local system. So git pull would do that. So we get some window here, and then unstage is what, so whenever we do some changes in the file, that would come in the unstage location, and from unstage we need to move to stage is what, one particular location, and give the commit message. So commit message is what, I have updated the code, what all. So we need to give proper commit messages, updated code, something like this, and then uh, commit it. So yeah, this thing actually not there. So ignore this. So here we get this commit message window, and then we kind of click commit, and then commit would be done. And then to get the code, latest code, what we have to do, right click, go to teams, and then we get pull option. So what it does is, it basically tries to pull the latest code. So here it has done, and then commit. I don't want to do. It's fine. So this thing, and then git pull. So git push is what, we use to push our local, whatever code we write, that code, if you want to push to the server, so we do commit and push. So commit, if we have done, we can just directly push the code. So what else? uh, the other option is git fetch. So fetch is what, again, it doesn't do any changes to the working directory. So wherever we are doing whatever code we do, so fetch is again taking some update from the repository, but uh, like kind of branches, let's say we have created. So we have different branches we can create. One would be the main branch, the master branch, what we say. And then we have different branches for different people. We can create different branches, and then those branches, if we have, and fetch, when we say, so when we have created that branch, and then here in this uh, code we might not be able to see some particular branch. So if that case, so better to get this fetch from origin. So it would try to get any changes if it is there in the repository, the server. That changes would come to our local, and then any branch, let's say branch 1, branch 2, I have created those branches here, and that branches I can show it on this particular project. We would be able to see those branches. So that is there. And yeah, anyone wants to ask anything, any doubts you have? Mm, it's taking too much time. Close this. What I want to tell you more is, so we'll go to, in our previous thing here, let's say we were what, executing something. So let me execute, see if it is, this one is working fine. So it has executed. Let's see how to uh, take this screenshot. So I'll just show you how to use a screenshot thing. So after completion, let's say we want to see the screenshot, take screenshot through automation. So how we do? Which test cases, right? I'll take this, copy, take screenshot in Selenium. So I'll create one class, open this. So after clicking on login, let's say we want to take screenshot and want to see how the screen would look like uh, after execution. So why we need screenshots? First of all, for evidences, for some proofs that we have executed our code, and then at some particular point of time we had the screen was looking in this so and so thing. So how the state was there of an application. So like verification point. So when we are verifying something, a success message was appeared. So at that time, we, through our code, we can verify it. But then again, as a screenshot also, if you want to take what the success message, how the success message was there. So those things, if we want, we can uh, uh, do it. So how we generally do? So here we have again, just like the JavaScript executor, we created. Oh, what was that? If I show you. So that was an interface, right? So same way we have an interface for take screenshot, which is take screenshot. So we get takes screenshot. Is this is I, you see, this is interface. So we got this interface, take screenshot, and then what else we have to write? Like how the code would look like is again typecast it with our driver, whatever the driver name we gave, and then this thing with I'll just enclose this with the brackets. Okay, and then this we would store this in some variable, let's say. So what the variable is, src, or the screenshot site is the screenshot something. So again, the local variable, if I say, so take screenshot is the one that I want to create it. So take screenshot, then some name equals to this typecast it. So typecast our driver with this. And what else? So we have so whatever the object that we have created, object dot, when you say get screenshot as, so this line would take the screenshot, but we are internally it would store again those screenshots. So once if we want to see how the screenshot is, so we need to use this method dot get screenshot, and then in this we'll say output type. So output type, again, that's an interface coming from or OpenQA Selenium. So take this output type, okay, output type dot, so we want in file, so we use java input output file relation, this method. So this line, so with this line, so this is the method wherein we get uh, screenshot screenshot uh, of this page. Again, here somewhere is what where we need to specify the uh, path of where we want to store this screenshot. So how we define that? But till then, yeah, anyone has any doubts on this take screenshot interface? So this whatever we have created, so we what we did, we just uh, taken the interface which is take screenshot, and that we have typecasted with our driver, and that thing we have stored this in a variable, again this thing, and then we have used a method called get screenshot as, and then output type dot file. So this way also you can do, or else the same thing, instead of this dot dot get screenshot as. So here this way same thing. So what we did is only this thing I have so this thing is what I have just splitted it into two things. So this whole thing, instead of giving it this way, I've just stored that in a variable, again object created, and then dot, I've used it here. So the advantage of this particular thing is, sorry, so here again next time when you want a screenshot to be created for somewhere else in the same code, you don't have to again write this line in interface of take screenshot and driver. So you can just refer screenshot. So screenshot variable n number of times if you want, you can write it here. So here at each and every step also, if you want screenshot, once you define, and then here you use this screenshot method. So screenshot dot, then get the screenshot as some output type dot file. So that way you can do it. And so yeah, this interface, anyone wants to ask any doubts if they have? Is it clear? Can someone confirm if it is clear? Only that uh, take screenshot method is there, wherein we have got that thing. Okay. So wait, let me just then execute this, and you just see what's happening in here. Right click, run as Java application. So till this point, you see what happens. So you see, we need to have a screenshot with this thing. So now in our project, we kind of, it is executed, and even the screenshot method was done. Okay, I don't want to use this. Okay, so the screenshots method, we don't have used it. So screenshot was also taken, but do you see anywhere so refresh? So you don't have so you have written this thing, but again internally, as I said, it would just take the screenshot, and it is what the file is nowhere stored, right? So that file is what we need to specify it here. Now how to Java internally, it has taken and it has the screenshot with this thing, but we have nowhere asked this to uh, give us. So it has taken the screenshot. After this, what we basically have to do is we need to create I would say this is screenshot. Whatever we have given is we can store this in a file variable. So output type is file. Again, this I would store this in file option, and this is my screenshot from the source. And when you just mouse over, you see import java.io. So from there, we are trying to get this file. So src, let's say file, we take it, and then this we have stored in this variable. After this, what we'll do is we will uh, use this thing. So file from source. So internally, that this src would have the path to the screenshot, and that path, now we want to move that imaginary or the backend related file to in our hard drive, in our this hard drive, the local space, we want to move it. So how to move that? We would create one more filed wherein uh, uh, check file path. What name should I give? Just any name. I'll say destination file, something like that. So destination file, let's say. And in this destination file, what we have to do is create new file of where the file we want. So here this file would add arguments. So we want here. So let's say I want to add this file path. So here, where do you want? I would add that file, let's say in resources if we just want. So in resources, I want my screenshot. Say. So here we would give this uh, path here, and then what we have to say is file utils dot u is capital, right? So it should give us some methods. Wait, we have file upload, we have file chooser. We need to have this file thing as well. So here we have got this file, new file, and then this destination. So we need the source to destination is what we need to. So file copy is a method, file utils that we need to have. So we need to copy basically from source file to the destination file. So this is file we have file utils, file chooser, or else let me just check this. So takes screenshot in Selenium. So okay, in this location we have got what screenshot file. We have written this, and then take screenshot, get output type. This is they have used this space, and in here there is this get screenshot as output, throws this entire page, return type as screenshot as stuff. Later I'll show you about this documentation, but for now we got sticks screenshot. Capture the full page. So here if you see, we have got our driver screenshot, and then file utils dot copy is what I'm just trying to do, but why is it not going? So here file utils dot copy file changes to files file utils. Why is it not detecting commons IO? Okay, let me take this file. Files dot file utils dot copy file should work, but copying is what I think there might be some update. So what I'll do is I'll just go through this thing, and I'll tell you in the next class like how to basically take this screenshot. So this way as well, now what we have done is we have not copying. We have just given these things, and we need to basically whatever the screenshot is taken, we want that to be passed to this location is what we want to achieve it. Now even when we run it, I guess we won't be able to do because we are not copying files from one source location to the other location, so the destination location. So this after execution, so we'll get this error message. So this whole screenshot is what we wanted to achieve. So here in this particular location, when you just refresh it, we need to get this uh, path here, file here. So here resources and then our screenshot. So here orange hrm.png or jpg, whatever path you would get. So with that name, you would get this screenshots here. You need to have it here. So I'll see why this copy thing is not working. I'll check that in my system, and I'll let you know in the basically the next class. So yeah, today about Maven. Basically, I just wanted to tell you about Maven, and then Maven is what we have come across, and then the Git generally. There was basically no source like how to. I want that particular thing here. So we had a repository, and then that repository thing which I wanted to share. So few things that we discussed were the Git pull. Pull is what we are trying to take something from somewhere. Pull is what we are taking towards us. So Git push is what from ourselves we are trying to push the code to somewhere else, which is repository. So and fetch, we are trying to fetch something, get the update from the repository again. And we have commit. Commit is what locally when we do something, we just commit it, enter saying something we have done. And so this Git, basically the repository, how it would work is uh, so whenever you have written something, so whatever code I have written, let's say this code I have written, now in the backend what it should do is we need to share this project again. We have that location, username, password we need to give, we need to set up all those whole things, and then changes. So here commit message, what we can do is for this thing, we say we have added screenshot for this class, is what that commit message we can give, and click on commit. So locally that file, whichever files are changed in our project to that path, it would show this commit message. And after committing, we want to push our code to the repository. But before pushing, so whenever we have some repository code, something in our repository, right, we have the code. So that code we need to first take a pull. Only when we take a pull, then we can just push our code. So we need to take pull first, and then our latest changes, whatever we have, we would get that code, and then that code we need to push it back to the server again. So this is how generally a day-to-day basis when you are working on automation, and when you're sharing your code with other team members, is what you have to do it. So write your code, working done, commit your work, whatever you have done, and then take the pull from the server, and then push your test cases again back to the server, is what we follow this approach. So yeah, anyone have any doubts, anything they want to ask? Or there was one more thing. So in the previous classes, if we see what else we have done, this frames and this default content. So we are getting the page title as well, the URL if you want, and then verification. So basically for verification, we won't be using this. I would tell you the testng concept in the next week. So that why we need testng again, and what's the usage benefits of using testng is what I'm going to tell you in the next week. So basically the assertions and all we use from testng unit package only. So we would look into those things. And we have tables, and then we have gone through this table as well, right? I click run. So I want to just close this. So here, so to close browser, directly, right? Just say driver.quit and close. We already discussed this. Close you can use, or driver.quit you can use. Quit and close difference. Again, in interview questions, they would be asking it, what's the difference? So close is generally to close one specific window but whatever the driver has opened, all the windows through the driver is what it can do. And then driver, we can write it this way here, uh, initially given null value, but later sometimes. So if you just don't initialize this value, and now let's say I want to just saying driver and then maximize. So you see, when I execute this code, what type of error you get, you see. So I'm not assigning driver value in here. So it says cannot invoke. Okay. I've used, where is that? I haven't used it here. Okay. So here basically we would get null pointer exception, and null pointer exception why we get, because null value you have assigned to your driver, and then null dot you are maximizing a window which is not even present. You are maximizing, you are waiting, you are loading, you are finding an element on which empty thing. So on empty thing, when you are trying to do it, it would give you null pointer exception. That's why whenever a driver, wherever it is declared, you just have to see the next step or somewhere before trying to use the driver. You need to see if initialization in the sense equal to something is assigned to that driver or not, is what we need to look into it. So this thing we need to see, and then with this particular step, we won't get null pointer exception. Reason being, initially driver was null, but later in the next step, driver was assigned with Chrome. That's why Chrome browser is opened. And on Chrome, we said maximize. On Chrome, you have said do all this stuff. So whatever you're saying, finding some element and doing this stuff, right? So we have got this thing. So, and one more thing, let's say, so here what we are getting is, so we are getting data from table, and one table data I have got. Let's say I want all this company names. How we can get that here? So the same code, right? The row number. So it starts from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 till 7. Again, here you can use a for loop. So this thing, okay, I'll show you how to use this. So here the variable name is data from table. Let's keep it this way. Okay, data from table is what our this thing. So here what I can do is I can use for int I starting from, I want 2 value for, or the row. Let's say instead of I, let's take row is 2 and row is less than 7 if you have, or till 7, let's take less than 7. And then row, I want to increment it one by one. And this thing, so print, I also want to do print. So this whole thing. And in here, so 2. So this row number is what I want to give. So dynamically in the XPath as well, we can change the values. So how to change that? So instead of this number, you just put double quotes plus plus here. Again, variable name is row. So I can keep this row here. So what happens if you closely look into this code? So 2 is what initially the value of row would be, and it comes here. Here 2 is given, so tr of 2, and then XPath is row 2 td1 get text. So it gets the text and stores that in this variable, and then that variable here it is printing. Same way, next time the row value is changed to 3, and then that 3 comes here, tr of 3 it finds and then prints 4, 5, 6 till 6 it does. So I'll just execute and I'll show what's happening. So in this case, we need to get the complete this row numbers. So here, if you see data from table. First row, this is next row, then there's then next 5. So if you see here, till here we have got, because in the code we have just given less than 7, or give less than 8, then you would get that, or equals to also you can put. So when you put equals to, then you would get this line as well. So that name. So here we have got what all this column data, one row. So instead of one row, again we want uh, so instead of row, if you just want to change it to column, so uh, this column we have got. What if we want for the country? If you want for the country, so td of, instead of one, we can say, instead of this thing, we can say td of 3. Right click, run, say. So it would give us third column, all the row data. Third column, all the row data: Germany, Mexico, Austria, UK, Canada, and Italy is what we are expecting. See in the output. So we have got this, right? So this is how you can iterate over the loop and in this table. So dynamically is what you're changing the XPath again. So some number is there, and that number, every time, every run, we are changing that value. That also you can do. Again here, instead of this, you can write again one more loop, and this value, it starts from 1 and ends till 3. So here what I would do is, for int column equals to, it starts from 1 and column value is less than or equals to 3, column plus plus is what we can do, and then this loop is what I want. Control I. And then here, column data, I don't want this static, I want every time it to be dynamic, which means add this, give the variable name here. So now row is this, column is this. So what it does, first time it have second row, then this loop would have column with first data, and this first data. So first time the value would be, column value is 1, row value is 2. So second row, first column is what it would give this. Then what happens next time? Or I will just put a debugger just to show you. So I'll debug it step by step. I'll show you. So I put a debugger here, and then Chrome has executed till here, and then we have got this window. So you can have look for this variable data from table. So data from table is what, initially 6, some ID. So this value. So this value is coming from here, right? So that value has been given here. What is next? So the pointer is here. So if we say next one, so it has printed this. Once it has printed, if we go to the next one, so row value is 2, column value is 2, row 2 and column 2. So row 2 is this and column 2 is this. Now it should give us this value. How it would give? You see that we have written the XPath, and then we have executed that, and it has stored this thing. And now this line print we are saying. So if I execute this line, it would print this value. You see that value is printed. So what we have got, this one we have got, this one we have got. Next thing is we need to get this. So for this is row 2, column 3rd. So column value should be increased, row value should still remain same. That's why it is outside of this loop. And then I'll just say next, column value is 3, and then it gets the value, and you see Germany is printed. So first thing is done. Now after this, it should go to row and increase the row value. So if you go, row value is 2, and then it changes to 3, and then again column value is 1, starts from 1. So row 3, 1, column 1, row 3, column 1 is this value. So it should give us this value. You see in the output, if I execute this, so execute it. So I've got that next one. You see this one, and then this if you want, just continue it. So that one would be printed. You see, one by one it is printing Mexico, and then Ernest, and then next Ronald. Likewise, all the data one by one it tries to get, and then it would print on the screen. So this is how, okay, just terminate it. So this is how you would get all the data one by one. So is it clear, everyone? Like there in the XPaths as well, dynamic values. I when I was doing, I kind of found that situation wherein we had to dynamically use this uh, XPaths as well. So whenever you have this particular scenario, then you can get it. So here I've executed it, and upon execution, so you have got this whole thing. So here we have got all the raw data, so table, whatever we had identified. So this way you can get the values. And yeah, this was about table. And so yeah, screenshot thing, yeah, I'll tell you tomorrow, like what's the update, or if we are missing with something, I'll tell you the next class. So yeah, if anyone has any doubts, can they confirm if things are clear till about this, especially the Maven thing that I wanted to discuss today. And then Git, basically that's out of scope again. But still, when you actually start working on any of the projects, and then you would find the usage of that Git. So why do we need to use Git, and how? So the next week I will tell you about unit test framework as well. Just then, anyone else have any doubts? Feel free to ask. Else, if we don't have, then we are good to close. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Rahul.